Hello, everyone. My name is Katie, and welcome to my Greenland Quilter channel. I hope everybody has been having a really good weekend. And we've managed, I hope most of you have managed to accomplish what you set out to accomplish. Or if you set out to do absolutely nothing, that's fine too. So, as you know, this is our once a month get together to discuss mental health. And I have Dani here and Myra, like we've been doing for the last, golly, how long we've been doing this now? Since February, I think.
Yeah, I
I
think
think,
so.
yeah, I think February, and I think we only have what 1 month where we didn't do one. But anyway, um, one thing I'm going to say about this at the beginning is this. I was talking to Dani about this the other day. I have to say that this has gone really well. I didn't think we would get met with, I figured we would experience some friction about discussing mental health and the things that we could do to try to help each other out. And there's been zero friction about it. And I want to
Yeah.
thank everybody who watches us, comes in and shares with us, listens to what we want to talk about topic wise. And also, Dani, thank you, and Myra, because without you, this would not be going on. And, and I hope this will continue for a while as long as we can come up with great topics anyway. But anyway, um, Dani, want to say hi and tell them more and blah blah blah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's so great to see everybody. Thanks so much for joining us this evening or this afternoon, depending on where you're at. My name is Dani, and the name of my channel is called So Not an Expert, because that is the truth. I am not an expert. I'm learning just right along with everybody else. And I love learning new things. So I'm always taking on different types of projects and different things to try and learn all about things. And one of the things that I like to talk about, or that I have mentioned on my channel, is my own struggles with mental health. Now, I consider mine to be very minor compared to many other folks. A lot of other people are struggling much more than I am, but that doesn't mean that mine's any less important than anybody else's. And so I like to share my journey. I like to share what I'm going through and how I'm combating those issues. And that's actually how Katie and I got together to talk about it here on this channel as well. Is because we're both open about it. We're open about it. We're willing to discuss our journeys and share them with other people in the hopes that they will hopefully help somebody else as well. So welcome. This is a safe space for anyone to talk about things. We make sure of that. We try to encourage communication here. And so I hope you guys have a great time. And don't forget to go over to my channel and give me a sub real quick.
That's right. Go over and sub to her. Thank you for mentioning that, Dani. Because yeah, y'all go over there and help her out because we're trying to get her to 1,000, and it's been going slow. All right, now,
and it doesn't bother me, but it sure seems to be bothering a whole lot of other people.
Well, the rest of us want to see you grow. What can we say? You and Tammy
Well,
both.
I truly appreciate that.
Yeah.
Over on my channel, I don't focus on subscriber counts
No,
or
she
views
doesn't.
or any of that. I don't focus on any of that. My focus is more on being friends with people, spending time with people, learning new things, and just having a great time. So that's the reason for my channel. That's why I started it, and that is my focus, and it will always stay that way. So I don't usually ask for subscribers. I try to remember to do that because it's part of YouTube and you need to remember to do those things, but I try not to because that's not the important part to me. The important part is spending time with you guys, having fun, making new projects. So that's why a lot of people are like, Dani, you need to get to 1,000. And I'm like, no, I don't really need to. No, but I guess it would be
Well, we
nice,
all want to see that happen. How about that?
Yeah, so I do appreciate that. I do. I'm very much so. But anyway, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Now
A
let me,
shameless plug.
Myra, my bestest of friends, who we've known each other for a really long time. That's why you hear me call her Sissy a lot. Uh, Myra, tell them about yourself and your education in this topic and all that stuff.
My name is Myra. I am a licensed clinical social worker, a mental health professional, a counselor, a therapist, whatever. That is my profession. I am not here today as your counselor or your therapist. I will be speaking from a professional point of view, but I also am a mental health advocate and a recipient of mental health care. I deal with anxiety and some depression, and yeah, take meds and talk to who I need to talk to, and help other people with their things. And any good therapist will tell you they don't have the answers for you. They have means and ways and helps to help pull out of you everything you need, because you have everything you need. You are the expert on you. And, you just may need a little help with coping skills, or the difference between, is this just situational issues, or is it something that we need a professional for, whether it be medication, whether it be talk therapy, music therapy, exercise therapy, sewing therapy, crocheting, crafts, all of those things can be therapies. And I do not have a channel. I'm just here. I'm just here as a I don't know, I don't want to say leech, but I just kind of ride on Katie's.
Yeah, it's not leaching. I invited you, it was my idea.
Well, it's really nice to be able to be here with Katie whenever I'm here, especially on this Mental Health Matters time of the month that we get together, and especially for September. September is Suicide Prevention Awareness, which is very near and dear to my heart. I don't know if you all can see, there was a teal and a purple ribbon, which has faded. My son did this for me and was learning to fade. It's a semicolon. It's the only tattoo I have. It means my story isn't finished yet. And I may take a pause. You may need to take a pause, but your story isn't over. So we want to lift each other up during this time together. This is a safe space. With that said, we can't guarantee confidentiality for anyone but each of our own selves. I will tell you that as a mental health professional, if anyone mentions that they're going to harm themselves or others, I'm going to turn this internet inside out to find you and get you help. That's not a threat. That is a care and concerned promise that I make to you. But please, please, please don't try me on it. I have chased a trucker all over Nevada and 2 states up that was on a suicide crisis line, stating that, he didn't want to live anymore. He was a veteran, and I worked with veterans for 17 years. And, it's not easy to find you. I grant you that. But I have had some success, and I care about you. I don't know you. I don't have to know you. You're somebody's child because you're here. That means you were born. So I have children. I am someone's child, and I care about you. And I want everybody to live the best life they can live. So that's me.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say hello to everybody in chat, and then I'm going to tell you what our topic is. Our main topic will be.
Hair.
And I also want to bring up a secondary topic that we probably should talk about on the next one, because holidays are approaching.
Oh, yeah, holidays can be rough for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I really want to have that discussion. So that'll probably be for the October, unless we have time to do it today. We'll see. Okay. Rita was the first one in the channel. Welcome, welcome. I hope you are feeling better, my friend. We've been missing you over on my chat and sewing with us. Me and Myra, and we've been missing you over there. Hey, honey. He's here. He was on the live last night. I don't know how many of you watched my live last night, but he is a sewing fiend, let me tell you. He's got I think he's hooked. He's
He
working
caught the bug, huh?
Yeah, he's doing really good with his jelly roll. So
Awesome.
got a lot of his strip sets done last night because he's making a rail fence, and he has some more to finish up like I do, because I didn't finish mine last night either. So we're probably going to do another live where we sew together and finish our projects together, because his is going to look different than mine. But the jelly roll he's using, I'm a little jealous. I'm just saying, it's beautiful. So anyway, hello there, Lori. Welcome, welcome. And then, well, we got two Lori's in here. We have hi Lori Hutchinson, and then Quilting in a Country Lori. She's also here. Hello, ladies. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Robin Marie. I think I got everybody. If I missed someone, let me know. So, you are allowed to speak however you, or what you can say, whatever you want to say in here. This is a safe place, like Myra mentioned, because of the subject that we're discussing. So if you need to talk about something, we are open for you to list or to read what you have to say, and then we have a discussion about it. Robin Marie wants to know how your mom is doing, Myra.
Asking so much. Big news. I said to my children, BFN. Big family news. My mother is going into a senior living facility tomorrow. My sister and I have busted our behinds over this weekend, moving her furniture. It's an unfurnished little 2-room apartment in a senior assisted living facility. And so we had to furnish it. We hung pictures, everything. And it's kind of like sending your kid off to camp or off to college. It's bittersweet, and my sister and I both have helped each other through it because we've had waves of nostalgia and crying. And mom is agreeing to go, and we're so grateful because it has to happen. She's too much for us now, and but my sister's going to move back to Nebraska full time with her husband, and I'm going to be with my husband full time. But we've got I've got 2 adult children here in the area that are going to take a week each checking on her. And then I'm going to come up once a month, and my best friend's going to check on her once a month. And then mother will have other friends in and out. So, and we thoroughly vetted the facility, and we actually know 5 other people that live there. Didn't know they were there, but they are. And so we're excited. They have things for them to do, and that just takes such an emotional weight off of my sister and I.
I know
We
that.
want our mom to be happy, and she hasn't been happy in a long time, and we just hope that she'll be happy.
Yeah, I know that
Thank you
has
for
to be a
asking.
big relief, not to mention a big load off y'all's shoulders.
Yeah.
Hi, Pam. Welcome. She said she just got here. Hello, Bonnie. Welcome. She says, I'm so happy for your mom. She should love it. Okay, so here's what we're going to discuss. You probably looked at the poll already. I don't know how many's already voted, but here's the poll is going to be tied in with what we're going to be talking about today. Which do you find yourself, this is the poll, which do you find yourself experiencing more often? Lack of creative mojo or lack of being productive, period? And so far we've had 8 votes, so I'm going to leave that running. So here's what our discussion is going to cover. What can we do when we are on a loss of creative mojo? And I'll explain why I want to talk about this. Or lack of motivation to be productive. Most of us who suffer from mental health issues experience this quite often throughout the year. I call it getting in a funk. That's what I call it. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because one of my viewers, her name is Laura, she broke her back early in the year last year, and then she's suffering from other health issues that had ended up with her being hospitalized, then coming out of the hospital and being on an IV for several weeks, to feed her. And so she's had a really rough time of it. She is on the mend right now, and they're still looking into making sure that they can keep her on the mend. And one of the things she mentioned to me the other day was, she says, I want to sew so bad, but I lack mojo. My sojo is gone, and I don't know how to get it back. So while we're having this discussion, if you have some tips and tricks that you've used to get you back into a sewing mojo or get you back into being productive, share it with us in the chat, and I'll make sure that I read all of them. One of the things I thought, so I'm going to hit Danny up, and then Myra, and then I'll give you what I think you could help. So Danny, what's your ideas?
For me, when I run into that type of a situation, it's usually because I'm burned out. It's usually because I've tried to take on too many things that have sucked up the bandwidth in my brain, and there's no extra time for the things that I love and the things that I want to do. And I think those are the most important of all of the things. It's kind of like when you're in an airplane, you have to put your own mask on first before you can help other people. And so that's why I have to remind myself of that. I have to remind myself that my own health, my own sanity is as important, if not more important, than the other people that I'm trying to help. And so I will come in here into my sewing room because this is my safe space in my home. Everybody should have one, whether it be your kitchen, whether it be your living room, whether it be your garage, whether it be your car, a place in your home where you know you can decompress, or a place where maybe you like going for walks in nature. Maybe it's a park bench in a park someplace, somewhere that you can go to decompress, collect your thoughts, and then get back to whatever it is that you love the most. So what I do is I'll come in here and I have pre-cuts. Pre-cuts are amazing for this type of a project. I come in here and I will grab a packet of pre-cuts that I have. It doesn't matter what it is. I have extra ones that are kind of the ugly fabrics in our sewing room, if you like. And I will grab a packet of those and I'll just start sewing. I will literally just put it in front of the machine and I will just start sewing. I don't care what I'm making at that particular time. I take that away from the equation and I just get in front of the machine. And usually after sewing 2 or 3 pieces of something, that's when things start to kind of click again with me and I kind of decompress, I kind of relax, and now I'm like, okay, now I can start to think about what projects I want to work on or what things I need to do. But I understand the struggle of sometimes just getting from the other end of the hall to this end of the hall is a struggle just to get that one foot in front of the other to get here. So I always try to just remind myself that my own health is just as important, if not more important, than everyone else that I'm trying to help. That's what I
That-
do.
Okay.
It doesn't always work. It does not always work, but that is what I try to do.
And we're going to talk about that it doesn't always work thing and how we can get through that part of it too, because it may require someone giving you a little push or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're going to talk about that too, because I think we should talk about both aspects of that, because just because there are times when you just can't seem to get yourself there, and maybe you need a little
Right.
help.
Right. For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Myra, what's your suggestions?
Well, I just want to go to the text first, the chat, that's what it's called. Hello, yes, I'm such a professional with IT. Not. Crystal Crystal and Nancy and Lori have all commented. Nancy says start small with small projects that you can finish in a short setting. Lori's, I set a timer for 15 or 20 minutes, sew or cut, browse patterns, whatever. And Crystal is like, sometimes just as what I can, well, somebody's going to have to read that for me because it's behind my heart, but they have all made really good suggestions. So we are all comprised of our emotional selves and our physical selves, and both are important and both need to be nurtured. And sometimes in my life, it's been physical, like after breast reconstruction surgery, I literally could not use either of my arms.
Yeah.
My precious sister had to do everything for me for about a week, toileting, everything. And so from that extreme on a physical level, you just set the small goals. For me, sometimes taking a shower was the goal of the day. I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
because physically it can wear you out. Sometimes emotionally, taking a shower is the goal of the day because
And just getting a shower in is a job all by itself.
Yep,
it,
been there. Mm-hmm. Yep,
yeah,
for sure.
so
Yeah.
for me, emotionally this weekend, my sister and I both have been on this roller coaster fixing up this place for my mom, and we're not going to let her see it until it's totally done. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, she will go, and everything's done. The shower curtain, everything's done. So she just walks into her new life. But the little
Amazing.
things, y'all, the minutia, there's so much of it. And then my husband calls and he's like, "Well, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm going to her underwear drawer to find underwear for her." He has no clue what is going on. Bless his heart. Seriously, I love him. Bless his heart. But he has no clue. And so there were times when my sister would say to me, "I just can't even think about anything else other than this list that we've got in front of us." I'm a list maker, and so is she. And so making lists help me. Checking off when I've done something or draw a line through it. Oh, that's so cathartic because I've finished something. I put the hangers in the car and in the closet in her apartment. Yay! So it doesn't have to be big, big, big things. It can be the small things. Keep your goals small if you're overwhelmed. That would be my big thing. And I love what Katie said about, or maybe it was Danny. It was Danny, I think, that, you know, you don't know, I used to be a pastor's wife. I was not the pastor, I was his wife, and there's a huge difference. I wasn't called to pastoral ministry. I was his wife. But there are expectations that people have for a pastor's wife, regardless of what her calling may or may not be. But I let everyone in that congregation know that I was his wife and their mother first and foremost. My relationship with God, this is for me, not pushing it on y'all. And I had to keep myself full so that I could give out to others. Because if you don't keep filling your bucket,
Right.
eventually you're going to be dry. You can't help yourself, you can't help anyone else.
Yep.
For sure. For
There
sure.
you go.
Let me read some comments here. Myra mentioned a couple of them already. Nancy says start with small projects that you can finish in short setting.
Love it.
Love that.
Lori from
Yeah.
Quilting in the Country says she sets a timer for 15 or 20 minutes, sew or cut, browse patterns, whatever. Then Rita says, "Oh my God, Danny, I do that sometimes as what I can know, thinking, sewing, and I up end up making new fabric." Sorry, guys. Sometimes my eyeballs play tricks on me.
It's okay. It's okay.
And Rita says, "Lori, I have been housebound due to having issues with being able to walk more than a few steps. I fall quite often, thus being housebound for fear of falling in a store." Yep, I understand that. And then Rita says, "Showers, oh my God, those are so painful. And when done, it feels like I had to run 100-yard dash." So she's experiencing physical issues while doing the showering. So there's that portion of taking a shower. And
I've been there too.
And then Pam says, "I thought I was the only one who struggled with showers." No, you're not. Some of us, when we're in a funk, we don't even walk in there. And I don't think that's something you should be. And there's no shame in this. None.
No, absolutely not.
What goes on with your brain. Rita says, "Pam, nope, showers are hard. I have to make sure my hubby is close, not in the restroom, in case I fall or cannot get out of the shower." And then Pam says, "I used to be such a chore list maker. Now those freeze me. I have changed to a finished task list at the end of the day, even if there's only one thing on it."
So you're the expert on you and you know that about yourself. So you found a workaround. That a way to go. That a way to go. That's phenomenal.
And
Nothing works for everybody.
yeah. And Robin's asking a question about my craft room. Well, we started working on the staging area because we're going to take everything out of that room a little bit at a time because we're going to have to look for glass in everything. That way it doesn't migrate to the other half of the house. It's weird.
Right.
All I have to do is walk in that room, walk back out, and go to the bathroom, and then come back later to go to the bathroom, and I find a sliver of glass on the floor.
Wow.
Which means it migrated on my clothing.
Yeah.
And we've cleaned up a lot of glass already, but still we keep finding more of it. Every time we move one more thing, there's more glass.
Wow.
I'm like, how does one window make so much glass? But I guess it's due to the way it's shattered. And this week I got all of my flower pots out of my house, and I know this is not going to make sense to some of y'all until I explain this. So this room you see me sewing in right now is one half of our living room. Our living room's really long. On the other half is a bunch of windows. And I had plants growing in there. And then when I went to the United States this last time and came home, all of my plants were dead. All of them. She had literally drowned them. So,
and you're a big plant person. Like the plants are
yes.
very important to you.
So let's just add one more thing onto my mental health issues that I have right now, because
right.
there's that. And when you walk in there, it's like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this either. But me and Nikolai did take time this week, and we took everything out that was dead. We emptied all the flower pots. All the flower pots are now moved to the boiler room where it'll be safe because that's heated down there, and I won't have to worry about my clay pots cracking due to hard freezes during the wintertime. So all of that's out of this room now. So all we got to do is clean the floor really good. I need to dispose of a carpet in there that has coat dust all over it so it won't keep reminding Nora. I'm going to dispose of that, and then we're going to use that as a staging area and use the cold room as a staging area. And we're just going to slowly move stuff out of my craft room. I think I'm going to probably get upset a few times, especially when we discover we can't clean the glass off of something and we have to throw it out. I've already thrown like 2 big garbage bags out, and it just hurts me because it's not like I can just order fabric when I want to,
Right. Right. In the situation you're in, yeah, with your physical location. Yeah, I imagine that to be challenging.
I have baskets in there full of little stuff like this. You can't hardly, if you start messing with it too much, it starts to ravel. You understand what I'm saying? And so a lot of it's not even going to be cleanable, and I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and close my eyes and put it in a garbage can. So that's where I am on it. So this week we'll be working on some more of it. Because Nikolai leaves on the 9th of October, and I'm hoping we can have at least 50% of that room done, I'm hoping. And then when he comes home for Christmas, we can finish it off. Maybe I could get in there by the 1st of the year as a New Year's thing, or our 15th wedding anniversary, or we might get it done before then. I don't know. One day at a time as far as that room's concerned, but I'm trying. And I do
like Myra said, you should make a checklist of goals.
Yeah, I've got a
small
checklist.
Goals.
Yeah, there's a checklist, and it's listed in order, I think. And I'm finding it sometimes when you put it in order, you think you should do it. It's not happening because I skipped like the first 3, and then I checked off this one and then another one down on the list because it was the way we were doing something. It ended up that was not ranked in the way I thought it should be ranked. And he's been super good. He did all, because some of the pots I have in that room were heavy. I mean, I had like 10 of these big, enormous clay pots, and they're very heavy. And I put them out on the deck, and then he took it from the deck to the boiler room. And then I met him in the boiler room, and he started handing them to me so I could stack them up the way I wanted to stack them up instead of him just putting them in there. So
it willy-nilly, right?
Yeah, it was a really good day. I wasn't stressed out at all. There was a couple of times where I'm like, where am I going to put this? And then we look at the boiler room, like, why don't we do this? And because the boiler room's not very big, it's like 6 foot by 5 foot, so it's very tiny. And it has a big boiler in there, and a bunch of pipes and stuff. So you have to kind of like move around in there to figure out where to put things. And so it went really good. And I will keep, I definitely will be writing a blog like I told y'all before on it. So I'll keep you abreast of that. I'll let you know what we accomplished this week because we have days we can do some other things too. Okay.
Fun.
Let me see. Pam said, all right. Let me see. All right, there's that. Nancy says, we are all there with showers. And then Pam says, thank you, Myra. Your kudos has me in thankful tears. Aw. And Rita says, oh no, poor plants. Okay, hiding in the corner. I am a aloe vera hoarder. I admit it. Hey, you know what? I'll show you. I have actual pictures of that room before this happened. I'll post them on my community tab and inside my Facebook group, and you'll see what I mean about it. It looked like a jungle in there, and I called it my Zen spot. So right now I only have 2 plants in the house, period. No more. And I don't know if I think I'm going to use the windows this summer to grow tomatoes in instead. Because I want to make food. So that's what I'm going to do this summer. Let me see here. Rita says, I am not sure I would want pieces of glass going into a dryer, Robin. Wait, I missed something.
Yeah.
Where did Robin make a comment about a dryer? I don't see. Oh, wait. Katie, no, that's about the craft room. I missed it, whatever it was. As far as putting, right now our dryer is broken. And as far as washing yardage, I'm not going to do that. I'll just take it outside. We've been talking about how we're going to handle that part of the yardage part. And we're just going to figure out a way to shake it all out because I'm not washing fabric to put glass in my washing machine. No, thank you.
No, I have to agree with you there. Yeah,
I'm not doing that. And most of my yardage was behind. I had on the shelves, the ones that are in big bolts of yardage, those were covered by a plastic thing that was I had hanging in front of it to keep the dust off of it. So I opened that up and ran my finger across the shelf to see if there was glass, little tiny. No, I didn't do it hard, Myra, so don't freak out. I just wanted to see if my finger would pick up anything. There was nothing.
You know
there.
me so well.
Yeah, there was nothing there. So that plastic sleeve I had over the front of that shelf.
Oh, that's good. Saved it.
Yeah, it saved those because I had 2 different shelves I'd done that to. I had bought some clear vinyl, cut it to the size, and I stapled it on two sides of it. So I could lift it, take out what I wanted, and put it back in and drop it. You could still see the fabric because it was clear. So those 2 sets of shelves that has 4 shelves done that way, they were fine. I didn't find any glass inside of those, thank God. But when I was looking at the bottom shelves, the 2 bottom lowest shelves, there's notebooks down there. And I guarantee you, when I move the first one, we're going to find glass inside of them. Because we've been finding glass in places that don't make sense to be there. I mean, I don't even know how it was possible.
It's like sand; it gets in everywhere.
Yeah, it's in everything.
Glitter. It's like glitter, the herpes of the craft world.
Yeah, that's why I don't have glitter in my house, because you never get rid of it once you have it. Okay, let's see what else. Funny. Robin says, I've done it when dryer is done, use a lint roller. It removes any glass. I did buy some lint rollers, and we're going to be using those and I also it occurred to me that maybe I have a hand sweeper. And it has whatever it has on it that picks up dust. It's also going to pick up glass. The only thing that Nikolai's got to figure out is about the Millennium Falcon, because a lot of the outside of the Millennium Falcon there's stickers in places, so you can't drop that in water and it'll ruin it. So he's going to have to hand clean those pieces. But the rest of the Millennium Falcon that doesn't have stickers in it, he probably can wash them and all the glass will sink to the bottom.
Take a piece of bread, pat it with a piece of bread, and the glass will go in the bread.
That's a good idea.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll make sure to tell him that because he hasn't even touched it because I know he's not looking forward to taking because when that window broke, I guess the impact of when that trampoline hit it, it also shattered the frame of the window, the wood part of it. It literally dislodged the top 2x4 that was up on the frame. And that frame,
wow.
that part of that 2x4 crashed down on top of his Millennium Falcon and caused it to fall apart.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's pieces that got sucked out the window during all that wind and everything. So I
Yeah.
bet
Oh.
he'll be making a list of all the missing pieces he's going to find missing. Let me see here.
I'd like to ask, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask Rita if you feel comfortable sharing, is your allergy to the sun from lupus by any chance? That is one of my sister's manifestations for her lupus is migraines, and she is allergic to the sun, so she has to be covered from head to toe.
And Rita said, Pam, I get enough scraps enough to fill a 5-gallon bucket. I take those scraps and sew them together. I have a bucket over here for that. I've been doing that. And then she says, yes, I actually went outside and got a bucket ready to plant potatoes. Oh, she says, I was exhausted afterwards, but was great to go outside in spite of being allergic to the sun. And I'm sure she's going to answer you now. And Rita says, oh, wow, what a good idea. I want to cover my fabric shadow boxes. Never thought about something clear. Yeah, Rita, you know how you can go into I don't know where they're located exactly in the United States, but it'd be a textile store or something like that. They'll sell clear vinyl because some people like to use clear vinyl to make covers for their picnic area where they can still see out of it. Here they use it. You can also I know you can go to your houseware department and buy clear tablecloth. Same thing, same vinyl, and cut it to fit those shadow boxes you're talking about and fasten them on there, and it'll keep the dust out. Because I came up with that idea because I'm like, I want to keep a lot of the dust off fabric if I can, and off my little knickknacks I had in there. And that I came up with that idea because they sell that vinyl is on a roll, so you can buy as many meters of it as you want. And a lot of people, the reason they have it is because people add a vinyl, it's part canvas, part vinyl on the back of their boat so that you can unzip it. It's like windows and you can see out of it when it's closed, and you can unzip it so you can crawl out the back if you want. And the couple that we go out with on their boat, he has that set up on the back of his boat. And and it works, and it takes, quite a bit of abuse in the process.
I never thought about that, but yeah, I mean that is a great idea.
Oh, let me write that down. Rita just gave me she says, Katie, you make a link glass pickup from fleece and dryer sheets. And I actually have some dryer sheets I brought back from the US.
Rita, thank you for sharing. I'm sorry that you have that condition. I know it's really hard to have to deal with that.
Okay, she says she has a skin cancer type of thing that affects her skin. Sun puts those things on it that looks like big scab. Ouch. You sound like you get sun poisoning like I do with my lips. Shower curtain liner is clear. Yes, that type of thing. And you can make it look nice however you want to do it. I just cut it and stapled it onto my shelves. That was the easiest way of doing it. Pam says, Rita, in all, most of my fabric is in 1 to 2 yard cuts that I have bought over the last 20 plus years, and years of shopping to relieve work stress. Now to sew the stash. So she shopped to relieve stress. Okay, Rita says the shadow box I am referring to, you can see in my videos on the wall where I put all my fabric. that moved. It was about time I was reading it. One that I made from wood. And then she says, yes, I get sun poisoning from having lupus. So going in the sun is dangerous for me. My first mother-in-law, she had lupus too. And she had been diagnosed with it, I think, I guess after she gave birth to her only son. And the couple that I go out fishing with on the boat, she's from Thailand and she has had lupus. She no longer has lupus. She changed a bunch of things about her diet, and by changing the way the food she was eating, she's in remission from lupus. It's the most interesting thing. So she's not taking any kind of medicine for her lupus. She still wears a hat when she gets out in the sun, but she is not testing positive for lupus right now just because she took a bunch of things out of her diet, which is interesting. And I didn't even know you could be in remission for that kind of thing. Anyone else want to share any tips and tricks that you do? One of the things I agree with too is, it's like here, these are all stitching. I kept them out because I hadn't put them in a bucket yet. These are stitch and flips. 2 pieces of fabric from where I had to cut the end off of block, and I sewed them together to make half square triangles. But sometimes when I'm not in the mood for sewing and I have a whole bunch of these because I didn't bother to sew them together, I just put them in a pile in a box. I pull them out and I just mindlessly sew these. And before I know it, I'm like, oh, I'm in the mood for sewing again. Yay, So that's a great idea what Danny suggested, and others in the chat suggested. Rita says, I do not take any type of meds. Zero, stopped taking meds about 3 years ago. Yeah, she's off the steroids altogether. So that's a good thing. The steroids, they save your life, but when you're taking them a long time, they do other kinds of problems. Myra, do you have anything you want to mention?
Well, I would like to tell y'all about the Jacksonville Quilt Show I went to on Thursday.
Oh, fun.
Oh, I heard it was going on.
There were approximately 400 quilts on display.
Wow.
Oh.
And after 3 hours walking on concrete, my back was saying words I'm trying not to repeat to my body. And there were 40 plus vendors there, which was fun. I did chances to own, and today they're doing the drawings this afternoon. So I'm hoping I'll get a call that I won a basket.
Well, that would be great.
Fun.
There were about 60 baskets out there from different quilt shops. By Annie had a few baskets, the company by Annie.
Okay.
So I don't know, whatever, it was a wonderful day before I came over here to begin this thing with my sister. I mean, if y'all haven't done it, you just can't imagine how overwhelming and how much there is to do.
Well, just going through your mom's things is an ordeal all by itself.
Oh, Phyllis and I only went through her Chester drawers that we moved to the facility.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to be here until the 1st of October, and I'm going to be here after that, but she's going back to Nebraska. And I told her, I said, since we're not going to go and sit with Mother in this facility, because this is going to be her new home, we're not going to go that first week but once, so that she can get acclimated, make friends, depend upon staff, bond with staff. And so I looked at my sister and I said, I could read or sew all day long and be just fine with that.
Yep.
But I'd like to suggest we take 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon every single day and go through her stuff and make giveaway, sell, throw away stacks, boxes. Now, we can't do any of that now. All right. Mother hasn't given us the go ahead to do that.
ask
But
that.
the minute we lose her, we've got it all to do anyway. We
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
we've got it to do. She's not coming
Yeah.
back to this home. So
Right.
Phyllis agreed that that would be a good idea. So our goal is to do 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. Doesn't have to be solid time, but y'all, she went from a size 10 down to a size 4-6. So there's clothes that she hasn't worn in years.
Wow.
She
Those
went
will be
from
great.
130, 35 down to 95 pounds.
Wow.
And there's clothes she'll never get back into.
Mhm.
That'll be a great way to donate to the local shelters and stuff.
Well, we're going to sell what we can because mother doesn't have long-term care insurance.
Oh, got
So
you.
so the
Okay.
selling of this house is what's going to pay for her long-term care.
Okay, got you.
So, and then, anything we sell from the house will go to mother's long-term care. So,
Right.
yes, I'm in Florida, Nancy. Right now, I'm in Panama City, Florida, home of the world's most beautiful beaches. And I was born about 47 miles down the coast in the east, toward Apalachicola, Florida. And but I live in Central Florida with my husband right now. Look at Robin, she's down to 600.
You are on a roll, Robin. Congratulations.
Woo-hoo!
You are so close. Okay, since I'm trying to think of what else we could come up with. Um, the other thing I think is when we are in a downturn, or what do you want to, I call, like I said, I call it a funk. I
Such
think
an
that,
outside.
yeah, um, if you're not feeling like you can sew, and now like Laura, she was hanging out in the channel watching lives, and that's how I found out that she had lost her sojo. Whenever you're in this state of mind, you guys join us on our lives so that at least you can socialize with us. And it's okay to say, hey, I'm not feeling like I'm sewing and I'm a little down in the dumps. Because sometimes all of us can say, well, what can we do to help? Or sending hugs and good vibes your way, or we're sending prayers your way, or, there's all kinds of things that a lot of us will say to help boost you. So don't be afraid to come in and say, I'm just not feeling it today. We're here for you. We'll
Right.
always be here for each other. And I think that would a lot of people, if they knew that they had that outlet too.
And I'd like to add that, it really is okay to be in a funk for healthy periods. Sometimes we just need a break. I just finished that big Christmas quilt top, and with all this going on with mom, I just needed a break, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get started on my next project, but I needed a break, and that's okay. But I'm not going to be away forever,
Right.
Rita, you are too funny. We're missing you on camera, by the way, but I'm not going to twist your arm. But we've been missing you because I know you've been having a rough time of it. Jojo says, I have a hard time starting something like choosing a project. Too many ideas in my head, and I can't get out sometimes. Okay, so what do we do about that? Oh my gosh, that's a little difficult. Sometimes you just have to, well, sometimes with me, when I run into that problem, I pick the thing that talks to me the most, and I know, what does that even mean? Sometimes you'll have 2 or 3 projects you want to do, and you're like, well, I want to do this one, and then you're looking at this one, and then you're looking at this one, and then you're like, well, I kind of want to do this one more. But if you don't have that feeling where you don't know which one to choose, just grab one and put the other 2 aside and see what happens. And you may discover that by grabbing it and starting it, you're okay with it and you continue on. Or you may say, no, that's not what I wanted to do, and set it aside and try a different one.
Or
Or
you're
you
like
could-
me and you try and do that 4 or 5 times, and all 4 of the projects you grab, you're like, no, I don't want to do that one either. No, I don't want to do that one either. No, I don't want to do that one either.
Or
Sometimes
you
I just
can
have
make a list of all the projects that you want to do and you don't know where to start, and purpose in your heart, I'm going to do whatever is on my slip of paper, and pull it out of the hat and do it.
yeah,
Just do
yeah,
it.
yeah, just do it. That's right.
Oh, that
Nancy,
Nike,
reading
just do
your
it.
nose line makes your nose grow. Y'all are comment, yeah. Pam says another thing that helps me is volunteering or getting
Yes.
or to, volunteering to get out of my head. One of my guides donates bags, and I'm helping them set up kits for others in a guild to sew. That is a really great idea. That's outstanding idea. Let me see.
That
Rita says she
is
just
super.
uploaded the video. Yeah. Wait, Bonnie. Hey, Bonnie. Bonnie says Tiffany starts by writing down her projects that she dreams about, as she says, and then you can always come back to them if you can't get them wrote down. Yeah, I need to make a list.
That's what I do. Yeah, I have a list going of all of the different projects that I have or things that I want to accomplish. And so I start at the top of the list, and I don't worry about priority or anything else. I just start at the top of the list and I do the first one. And then I do the second one, and then I do the third one. And whenever I get new ones, I just add them to the bottom. And the list just keeps rotating through. Yeah, that's what I do.
Hey, Pam, you said that a UFO list to you is discouraging since you have so many. Can we
Mm.
reframe that a little?
Yeah, let's do
Like,
that.
like, I'm so blessed that I have so many UFOs that I was able to buy or acquire the materials for those UFOs.
I
Just a
like that.
little bit of reframing. Just
Maybe
a
we shouldn't
little.
I
even
like that.
call
Wait a minute,
it
you're
a
breaking
positive name
up.
for.
Katie, you
Are we
just
there now?
froze up there for me.
Yeah, I know it's my laptop. Sorry.
It's
Um,
okay.
what I was going to say was maybe we all need to come up with a different name for a UFO and start using that so that it doesn't have that negative connotation to it. Because I have
Maybe.
a lot of UFOs too. Um,
OTF,
you know,
opportunity to finish.
yeah.
There you go.
I've been watching a lot of horse movies lately, and I watched Secretariat again the other day. And one thing she says right in the middle of when they're talking about Secretariat, and she says it was a missed opportunity.
Hmm.
I love that little saying, missed opportunity. Turn your missed opportunity into something instead of just letting it fall aside.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yep.
You got this,
Um,
Pam. You got this.
yeah, you do. Let's see. Okay, we're caught up. All right, now I think we have enough time to at least have this discussion, and we can carry on into the next one if you want to. We're in September. We're like almost at the end of September, actually.
I know, it's
So we
scary.
got October approaching, November and December, and New Year's, which is January. And
Let's
I
see.
I don't know about anyone else, but I have the worst time with holidays. I always have. Part of it is because I would get depressed because lack of family. I didn't have that family connection because holidays bring families together. My family was split in two, where none of us got together because of the situation back then. And and it was hard trying to do holidays with the kids because they, when they got old enough to start asking questions, Mom, how come we don't do this with the rest of our family? And it was hard for me. It would make me depressed. So by the time Christmas rolled around, between Christmas and New Year's, I started feeling really down. And by the time New Year's Eve rolled by, I spent an entire January where I couldn't hardly function. It just totally, bums me out. It's like you have all of this excitement about a holiday, and then you crash and burn right afterwards. So, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels like that. My favorite holiday, if I had to choose on which holiday I love the most, is Thanksgiving because I love to cook. And my kids have all these memories of me going all out and spending 4 days cooking. Do I have that now? No. I miss doing that. And so I don't even bother to think. I try not to think about Thanksgiving because I miss that time frame of where I could just go all out and make a food spread that, we spent 4 days eating off of. And it's just me and Nikolai. Now, Nikolai's supposed to be home. Babe, when do you come home in November?
I should be going off on the 27th.
So he'll be coming home after
27th.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I'm like, another Thanksgiving, not doing anything because I'll be by myself. So I thought we could start talking about it a little bit and how we can help each other cope with when we feel alone or I don't want to call it fear of missing out because that's not the way I feel about it. It's more about not being able to be with people during that time frame, I think is what it is. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say?
No, it totally makes sense. It totally makes sense. Some families you lose them for a variety of different reasons, and your dynamic changes. And change is difficult no matter who you are or where you're at in your life. Change is difficult, and sometimes it can be overwhelming, depending on the level of change or the emotional connection to change. So no, I think it makes perfect sense.
Rita says she hates holiday time of the year, period. And Nancy says, okay, Katie, it is so hard. We have so many family members gone. Yeah, there's that too. People lost a lot of family during 2020. And, and a lot of these families lost members of their family because they got together to do what they normally did every year as a family unit and not having them there. So some people are going to be experiencing that loss as the holidays roll by too. So how can we help each other get through the holidays? I guess is one question. Secondly, what can we do personally to help us get past it when we don't have anyone to share it with?
I like Rita's suggestion. What would it take to have a virtual Thanksgiving get together, showing cooking or something?
That would be a great idea. Maybe we could set up a live where we can get a few people who are willing to do that because I'd be willing to cook. And
me too.
I can figure out my kitchen situated, put lights and cameras up, and then maybe we could eat together afterwards, even if it's something simple or something that we make together. That would be a great idea, Rita. That's actually a great idea.
Yeah, and in fact, I actually have a second channel for those of you who don't know. It's a very small channel and I don't promote it very often, but it's Home Cooking with Dani, and it's in my kitchen.
I didn't know that, Dani.
Yeah, I only have like 4 videos on the channel because I don't have a whole lot of time for it. But I created it initially as a way to share recipes with my kids as they were getting older. Because I don't write things down. Mr. Wizard hates it that I don't write recipes down because I don't measure things and I don't write them down.
I don't either.
So I've tried to teach my kids some of the home recipes and some of the things that I like and just being able to teach them how to cook and things like that. But I thought that a channel would help them with that. It's a place that they could go to, to see mom cooking or things like that as I got older. And so I really don't promote it to anybody because it was intended for family. It wasn't necessarily intended, but the people on my channel are my family. So that's why I like to tell them about it. I don't promote it. I'm not looking for anyone to go subscribe. You can. It is a public channel, but I only have a handful of videos out there right now, but that is why I created that channel specifically, was to share my cooking experiences, my recipes, my techniques with my children as they got older.
So why don't we continue this discussion, because we can plan it this month and next month, and let's see if we can get enough people that would be interested in cooking on Thanksgiving Day. And I know that some people in the channel are not on the since it's a United States holiday, but to me, Thanksgiving is not just because it's a holiday in the United States. It's a holiday where you can give thanks to being together with other people, sharing your food with other people. And even if we cook together and you might not get to eat each other's food, seeing it there is just eye candy,
Yeah,
And
it's a
why don't we
family.
plan on doing something like that? And those that are interested in cooking that live, we don't have to make anything fancy. I would love to
Yep.
do a stir fry or something. We could do anything. Let me how do I want to do this? Because we need to plan it and we need people's participation.
Yeah.
Elsbeth said, hello, everyone. In the military, we invited people who'd be alone over the holidays because we'd be in foreign countries. Y'all, my first memory of Thanksgiving was in Japan at Masala Air Force Base, and I was about 5 years old. And I didn't know any of the young men sitting around my table because they were airmen that worked with my dad. And and then another one was we went to the Airmen's Chow Hall for Thanksgiving and ate with everybody. They allowed families to come in and eat. And at my house growing up, and my house as a mom of 4 kids until they all left home, I never knew who was going to be at my table because my kids knew they could invite anybody anytime, always. There'd be extra. Thankfully, everybody in my family loves leftovers, so it was never an issue to have leftovers. Sometimes we would, sometimes we wouldn't. And I never knew who was going to be at the table, and it was okay. But that's how, it's kind of how we were raised. I don't want to be Debbie Downer here, but remember, I am a therapist, and what I didn't say is I'm a reality therapist. And I want to remind everyone that while I love the Hallmark Channel and all those Hallmark movies about finding your prince and
Reality.
and finding your long lost love and all of these things and all these families that are so precious and wonderful, y'all, that's television.
Yeah. Nope.
There is no perfect family. And for those of you in the room old enough to remember, what was their name? Father Knows Best. Father didn't know best. Mother told father what he knew.
Yeah.
There is no perfect family. I don't care if you have multi-million dollars. There are sports people whose children have leukemia and are fighting it right now. Do you think that they think life is wonderful? No, they don't.
No,
They'd
that's
give
not the
every
worst.
penny to have a healthy child. We all just do the best we can do for as long as we can until we can't. And then my hope is that everybody has people like Danny and Katie and other people on other channels that'll be there for them and that really do care. It is important to be there for one another, regardless of your religion, regardless of the color of your skin, your nationality, your culture, who you pray or do not pray to and with and for. It just doesn't matter. We're human and we all have worth and value. Truly,
what
we
we
do.
100%.
what we could
100%.
do to plan this project, which is going to be kind of like a project for Thanksgiving, what we could do is I could host it because I have the Zoom and everything, and I can have a live for as long as I want to, and have as many people on the panel as up to 50, actually. So what I could do is say, why don't we, and y'all think about this between now and we'll start doing more discussions over time, and I'll be talking about it also in my lives. Why don't we set it for Thanksgiving Day? Now I know that a lot of people do go to family for Thanksgiving, but some of us don't have family to go to. But if I can set it like a 12-hour live, those of you that actually are going to go to family and then go back home, or you have family coming to you and then they leave, you still have the opportunity to come in and join us who will be cooking on the live and say, just come in and help us, let's be together. We're friends and family. Make a dessert or make a dish and talk about what you make. And just, is that too over the top?
No, I think it's a great idea.
And I
And
can
I think
run.
we should encourage everyone who doesn't have family that if they had a family or doesn't have someone to celebrate with that's going to be celebrating with us, if they had a favorite dish that they
Yeah,
remember from one of their family events previously. If they don't, that's okay too. But if they did, maybe they could make that one dish instead of
yeah,
making the whole dinner. Just make that one to kind of bring you back to that place that's hopefully a happy place
yeah.
to help you with that, and you could share that with the group. Now
I,
I
great
will
idea.
have Thanksgiving with my family, of course, but I will try my best to join in a live stream for a few minutes at least to say hello and wish everybody a happy holiday for sure.
And those of us that end up eating together, we're not gonna be doing this prim and proper kind of thing. We're just gonna eat, and everybody's gonna see each other eating, and that
Right,
and that'll be
exactly.
that'll be what makes it even more fun is because we're not putting on a performance or anything. If that makes
Right, yeah.
y'all see me eat on my 12-hour life for New Year's Eve. I don't hide that. I just sit here and eat because if I didn't, I would starve in 12 hours.
So
Okay, so
Pam says her first Thanksgiving away from home, she cooked for 20 plus Navy guys with
wow.
no place to go. She learned to make giblet gravy via long distance phone call with one of their moms. That is precious.
Yeah, it's like
That
my
is
daughters will
pretty
call mom.
awesome.
They'll call me.
Bonnie, Bonnie can't stand watching those Hallmark shows because they bring her down.
Make you
You know,
sad.
I still love them because wouldn't it be wonderful if that could be the way it was? It's not, but wouldn't it be wonderful? And so, I am forever the optimist. And I know that sounds kind of weird. And when I when I would counsel a suicide person, a person who was thinking of suicide or was very, very depressed, I acknowledged their depression, but I let them know I am a glass half full kind of girl. If that's gonna bother you and make you upset, please get another therapist because there are plenty out there and it won't hurt my feelings. I have plenty of work. There's never, a downtime. Um, I just wanted to say to M's handmaid, she said, or I'm not sure. I hope my new
Damn.
therapist I start this week is as uplifting as you are. I
Oh,
appreciate that.
sweet.
Thank you so much. That's very kind. But just know that when you go, and kudos and congratulations for starting your journey with a new therapist.
Hmm.
Just remember that you are the expert on you. And if it doesn't feel like a good fit, please don't hesitate
Yeah,
to
exactly.
try somebody else. It may feel
Hmm.
like you're doc shopping or therapist shopping, but you know what? You've got to find that fit that works
Hmm.
for you. Not somebody that's going to kiss your butt and blow smoke up your tiny hole,
Yeah, exactly.
but somebody, you know, I used to tell people all the time when I was doing one-on-one therapy, I'm an empath. Your story is going to touch me. I may tear up. I may actually cry in session. And if that's going to bother you, then I'm not the therapist for you. And that's okay. Go find Freud that's just going to sit there and go, mm hmm, mm hmm. And how do you feel about that? Mm hmm. Because they're out there. There's plenty of them out there.
Hmm.
I had a professor at Florida State University, Panama City campus, tell me that I'd never make it as a therapist because I was too empathetic. And I said, with all the respect in my heart, I'm going to make one hell of a therapist because I am empathetic. And I have learned
Right.
how to let go of their problems and not own them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And for
Yeah.
me, that's the key in being a good therapist. I can't own your problems.
yeah.
I can only give you tools to help you
Help
where you
direct.
need it.
Yeah. Nancy
Hmm.
says, yes, this is why I started watching y'all because it helps me get out of my head with my husband's cancer and health problems. I thank y'all. I'm glad we can be here for you, Nancy. That's what this was all about, is helping each other and being there for each other and allow y'all to give you the freedom to speak your piece because one of the and all of y'all have seen this, you know, a lot of channels will say, we're not going to talk about this in the channel when you bring up something, or you get shut down the minute you say something. You will not be shut down here for that. That's what this is for.
Not for these topics anyway. Maybe some other ones.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You know, but that's what I mean. For these topics we're talking about, you will never ever get shut down when you're saying, I'm having, especially if you say, I'm having a bad day and I need your help. I need to talk. We will never shut you down for that, because that's what we're here for. Pam says, this is my third one this year. First one passed from cancer. Second one was not a good fit. Hoping third time's the charm. I hope so too for you, Pam.
yeah, me too,
You know,
Pam. Me too.
When people are on mental health medications, I really overuse this phrase, but it really is the practice of medicine. You don't come with a
One size
mechanic's
fits all.
manual that
Yeah.
says tighten the screw 3/4 turn to the right
No.
or loosen it. We are, in my opinion, fearfully and wonderfully made. And so, okay, y'all, hang on. I want to time out right here. I talk about and throw in Christian type things. I'm not pushing it on you. I'm an LGBTQ ally. I have family members that are on the spectrum. I don't care who you love or how you love them, as long as it's consensual. Okay. So just wanted to get that out of the way. But I can't help but
100%.
be true to my culture and who I am. So and now I've lost my train of thought. So I'll come back to it or not.
You'll remember. You'll think of it and then pick it back up again. Let me see. Nancy's Pam praying for you, and then she says thank you to Nancy. Okay, so I will I'm trying to figure out how we can get a list of the, if I post I need to figure out how I can find out who those of you who would like to share Thanksgiving on a live with us. What's y'all's idea on that?
Are you talking on a live stream?
Yeah, we can do
Or
it.
are you just talking on a Zoom call?
Wait, we could either do it as a live stream or just a Zoom, which would be all right. In the channel, if you wanted to
Because
participate,
I think there'd be a lot of people that would want to participate in a Zoom, but they may not be comfortable on a live.
Yeah, so we could do this as a private Zoom and not even do it. She says take a poll. Okay, yeah. Do a Google form, says Pam.
Yeah, you could do a Google form. You could ask people to email you for the invite. That way you can, because I mean, you got to be careful with what you post on YouTube and anywhere else, because you might get some crazies.
I know. Yeah, and
There's
I know
always,
some
there's
people
always some crazies out there, and so that's why something like I wouldn't necessarily go as far as to say memberships, because then they'd have to pay for it. You wouldn't want to do that. You would want it to keep it free if you could. But maybe having them email you with their email address so that you can personally send them the Zoom link, as opposed to posting the Zoom link someplace public. That way, you're sharing it a little bit more personally, and there's less likely there's less likelihood that someone would catch on to it and cause problems.
Yeah, Bonnie says, what if you don't want the cooking, just want the company? Yes, you don't have to necessarily cook. The idea is for those of us who feel the weight of a holiday, if we can do it together, it's less weight on our hearts.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
we're sharing with other people.
So isn't there a way to do Zoom where you don't have to do the video, you can just do the verbal if you don't want to be on camera?
Yes, you can be on Zoom and on live Zoom through. Let me try that again. Dadgummit. Yes, you can be on Zoom while live and not turn your camera on. Myra, are you on your laptop or are you on your phone?
I'm on my laptop.
Look on your laptop, and do you see where it shows the video camera at the bottom on the menu?
Yes, I do.
Now click on that. Bye, Myra.
But Myra's still here. I'm a voice in the wilderness.
Yeah, exactly. So you have that ability to turn it off if we did it as a live. But if most of you, and doing the Google form is a good idea because this will give me a feedback by doing a poll to say, would you rather just do a private Zoom, or are you okay doing it as a live where my camera doesn't get turned on? Because you do not have to turn your camera on to be part of the live. You can sit there the whole time during a live and never turn your camera on, but people can hear what you're saying. So yeah, there's that. So yes, I will get a poll set up as a Google form and put it on both the community tab and my Facebook group as well, so that y'all can just make sure you go look for it. And I'll remind everybody from here on out, there's a form for you to do as a poll concerning Thanksgiving Day. That way you'll know what I'm talking about. Because Pam says she wouldn't want to be on YouTube. See, there you go. Okay.
I think a Zoom would be perfect because then you can just do audio.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And you also control who gets the invites.
Yeah, because I would be, once I got them doing the form, I would have their email address, and then I would just email them the Zoom, because I can't put Zoom on the main community tab. Now I can put Zoom, I can put the Zoom address on people who are paid members. They can see that, but I can't put it on the main one because the whole world would see it. And that's not what.
And then you're opening it up to all kinds of.
Yeah, and I'll get a lecture from Kevin right away. You should not do that.
Just want to be with the crazies I know and love, not the ones I don't. Just saying.
One thing Kevin said to me, he says, I've seen you, saying, you want to do interviews or whatever. And I most of my podcast interviews are actually pre-recorded. And then we migrate to a live, because that's giving me a chance to get to know whoever it is I interviewed before I bring them onto my live. But he says, make sure that you don't make because especially for my 12-hour lives, he says, make sure you're not saying that everybody can just hop on when they want to, because you could end up with someone shanghaiing your whole thing in one night and ruining it all. It never occurred
for
to
sure.
me to think like that, because I don't think like
there
that.
are evil people in this world, and unfortunately they are around.
Please know my comment about crazies was tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
everything I do is in love, y'all.
They know.
But we appreciate you taking the extra effort to make sure we know.
Yeah. So let's look at this poll for a minute. We've had 14 votes, and so the question was, what do you find yourself experiencing more often? Lack of creative mojo or lack of being productive, period? 7% said lack of creative mojo. The rest was 93% said lack of being productive, period.
Wow.
Let me ask another question about the productive part, since y'all are voted. How many of you feel that when you lack being productive, does it happen at a certain period of time in a month, or does it happen when you've overwhelmed yourself? Share with us when you discover you've become unproductive.
Okay.
You okay, Myra?
She's muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
Y'all give me just a second. My sister just came back from the apartment and they had some trouble getting the TV mount on the wall. So hang on, I'm going to be on mute so that I can talk to her. Everything's okay though.
Okay, all right, good. All right. Rita says, as I've said many times, we have to be wacko. We sew fabric together, cut it apart, then sew it together, and sometimes cut it apart again to sew it back together again. Yep.
It's a good kind of crazy, though.
Yeah, it's a good kind of crazy. That's right. And Bonnie says, we all know that, Myra. So yeah, no, I didn't think anyone would take offense to that. Oh, and by the way, you've probably been seeing the bot drop this thing about my 5,000K giveaway. And there's a link for you to do the form. If you're subscribed to the channel, click on that link and go fill out that form, because on October the 4th, I'm going to be giving away 6 gift cards.
You have to go. I can.
25 gift cards, $25 gift cards. You got to go?
I need to go and poke some holes in the walls.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see.
So I'm sorry, but we've got to have this beautiful for my mom to walk into tomorrow because she's got to love it. There is no alternative. There is no other place. And so
Oh no, we understand.
everybody be well. Suicide prevention hotline is 1-800-273-8255. Press 1 if you're calling about a veteran or you are a veteran, or 988, press 1 if you're calling about or are a veteran. And be well. Remember, you're not alone. Thanks for having me on, and I'll talk to you later.
Okay, Sissy, love you.
Love you too, honey. Bye-bye.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Okay, that stuff at table is.
Uh-oh, my computer did something weird again. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me see here. Anyone want to add any more input to what we've been talking about today? Do you have any thoughts you want to share with us? Y'all been a little bit quiet today, but not too quiet. Noreen says, can you do it a Zoom and a live YouTube? Yeah, we can do it that way. Yes. You know, like I said, now I will get feedback from y'all on this. I'll create a Zoom form, not Zoom form, Google form.
Google.
Yeah, I'll make a poll in a Google form along with the getting your email address and everything, and you can say whatever you want on that form too, by the way. And I'll share the feedback I get with everybody on the next live that we do next month. The next live for our next mental health live will be on October the 19th. So put it on your calendar, October the 19th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so that's a whole month that I can get feedback from you guys relating to us doing something together as Thanksgiving. Robin says, I don't Zoom. Yeah. Wait, you don't Zoom at all, or you don't want to go? Zoom is not one of my favorites. It's the only one I use, you guys, and that I pay for.
You said the 19th, Katie?
Yeah, oh my God, it's the 19th on here.
I don't have anything on my calendar, so I just want to make sure that I add it.
I think you and I were going to talk about October because you weren't sure or something.
October, no, that date is fine. I don't have a problem with it. I just, for whatever reason, it's not on my calendar. So whether we talked about it or not, I don't know, but it's fine. It's totally fine.
Okay, because that's when I was going to put it.
Nope, I got it right here.
That's the third Sunday of October.
Sounds good.
I have Zoom and pay for it, but I dislike it as a platform. I pay for it because it's the cheapest thing that I can afford. I cannot afford the other ones at all. Because I use, as you know, I have long lives and I have multiple lives a week, and I eat up all those hours that you get. They give you the other platforms like Streamlabs and StreamYards, they allow you so many hours, and then you have to pay for the rest of it. And $50 a month is not in my budget. And I
didn't know that about Streamlabs, but I don't have the collab thing on Streamlabs. So maybe
yeah, I
that could
mean,
be it
there's a
too.
lot of things I can't do with Zoom, which is okay. But one of the things is I can have as many as 50 people on my Zoom. I can do that.
Yeah,
And
I have a paid Zoom as well.
Yeah.
I actually, it's funny because I will use my Zoom
I don't
as
even know
my
what free
video
streaming-
feed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't stream directly through Zoom. I stream through Streamlabs, but I use my Zoom as the feed for it. So rather than connecting up my webcam directly through Streamlabs, which I've had issues with before, I actually connect it up like a screen. I capture the Zoom screen in Streamlabs, and that seems to be doing better with the lighting and the audio and things like
You're
that.
gonna have to show me how to do that because I've never heard of that or didn't know you could do that. You remember when you and I tried to do dual lives, and man, that was a crash and burn on that one, boy. I just couldn't. I noticed that some people are doing dual streams right now where they're doing a vertical and a horizontal. And to me, I think you're cheating yourself because you're only answering people's comments from one of the streams and not from the other one. And that's really
Not necessarily. In Streamlabs, it'll show you all of them at the same time.
well, from what I seen on the person that was doing the dual streams, I don't know what she was using. She was only seeing the vertical side of it, not the horizontal. And I was in the horizontal end of it. And anything I said was not being said. And to me, I'm just going to leave if you're going to do that. Because
yeah, no, I use Streamlabs for most of my stuff. And so in Streamlabs, when you do the dual like that, or if like I can also do like Twitch if I wanted to stream on Twitch and YouTube or Facebook and YouTube, I could do those dual streams from different platforms. And what Streamlabs does is it combines all the chat into one screen for me. So I see everything and it just gives me a little icon and tells me where it's coming from. So I see everything.
To comment to Pam's comment about Zoom being free, it's only paid for if you want to do lots of meetings. Actually, that's not exactly correct. It's free if you do not exceed 1 hour and 45 minutes. Anything past that, you're going to get cut off. And you cannot have multiple people on your Zooms when you're doing lives if you use the free part of it. I pay for it so that I don't have a limitation on how long I stay on the live, because I don't like being knocked off an hour and 45 minutes. There's no way I can sew in an hour and 45 minutes. Not happening.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like you said, the Zoom, if you're connecting to somebody else's Zoom, like if I sent you a link to my Zoom call and I sent somebody a link, the person that I've been sent the link to doesn't have to pay for Zoom. It's free for them. They can be on as long as they want, because they're not the ones initiating the call. It's the person that's initiating the call that needs to pay for it.
Now, like you're using my Zoom because I sent you a link, and you're not paying for that. I'm paying for the ability to stay on here as long as we want to.
Right.
Because if we just did the free side of it, you'd be cut off at, I think it's an hour and 45 minutes, something like that.
Mine, it was 40 minutes of inactivity, and then it would kick me off.
Something like that, you get kicked off. And that's why I think Cotton Cuts only does their Zoom for a certain amount of time, because she doesn't pay for having the longer period of time to do Zoom with.
Okay.
Bonnie says, I'm usually lurking on my TV, but I love watching your long lives. Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, I have some long ones, all right. Last night we went 6.5 hours with that jelly
Holy
roll.
smokes. My live stream yesterday was not intended to be as long as it was. It turned out to be almost 4 hours long, and by about 3 hours and 15 minutes, I was ready to tap out, and I still had another 45 minutes. So I can't imagine doing a 6 hours all the time.
I didn't even, by the time we hit 4.5, and I was nowhere near ready to stop, because I was trying to get the block put together so they could see it. And and Nikolai was on a roll with his, and I said, do you want to stop? He's like, no. So we just kept on going, because some were still sewing too. And as long as people want to stay, I'll go.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm kind of like that as well. Like if I've got
hours yesterday, it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm working on something and I've got a block that I want to finish up or whatever, then I'll do the same thing. Sure, yeah.
Sometimes you just don't want to
stop.
Yes,
Robin, you were there. Yes, thank you so much for being there, by the way. Thank you.
Pam says yesterday was good. Yeah, yesterday must have been really good, because when I got the analytics back on that long video, that long live yesterday, I about fell over.
Wow, good job.
It really did. It did well yesterday, despite how long it was. Can y'all see that?
That's crazy. Did you design that, or is that something you're following?
This is from yesterday. The two star ones you see, that's part of that jelly roll. Is the pattern was designed by Teresa Louise. I quilt too, and all it is a jelly roll and an accent fabric and potato chip pattern that she turned into putting the star in it. So it's called a friend chip quilt.
Very cool. That's very cool. I love Teresa. She's amazing.
Yeah, and so I finished 2 of the blocks yesterday, so it looks really good. But it's so colorful. Oh my God, it's so colorful.
It is very colorful, yeah.
Rita says she pays $14 for a month for Zoom, which gives her 30-hour lives and up to 100 guests. Yeah, but still not a fan of Zoom. I don't. The only thing I could say. Oh, we just had another burp. I wish the Zoom could do some of the things I see people doing with their Streamlabs, but or StreamYard, whichever it is they're using to do all these fancy things with. I just am not going to pay $50 a month. I cannot afford it. because I pay
Well,
15.
I only pay. Yeah,
I
I was
paid
gonna say I only pay
$15 for
19 a
Zoom.
month for my Streamlabs.
One of them went up to $50. I don't know which one it was.
Oh, well, maybe I'm on a lower plan, but and I don't do a lot of fancy stuff with mine, so that could be part of it too.
I was on last night and enjoyed watching all the show, including Nikolai, and he's doing a great. I know, right? He is doing a fantastic job. He's got to press the rest of his strips so he can subcut the rest of them. But yeah, he's him and the machine got along for the most part last night. There's times when I wanted to throw that machine out the window. It's a little singer talent, and it
Oh, yeah.
one of its
Mhm.
negative traits is it comes unthreaded very easy.
Gotcha.
And so I'm sitting there threading it for him yesterday and putting a bobbin in and making sure everything's working right, making sure the stitch is working fine and everything. And I'm over here doing this, looking for and I'm like, oh crap, this does not have the automatic cutter button on it. Had to get
I know
this.
you get spoiled, you know, with your computerized machines, and then you go back to the basic ones, and you're like, where are all of the buttons?
It's like, where's the button at? Uh-oh. One thing
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things that I love about this Janome is how much space there is around the needle plate and everything. And that singer over there has so tiny space. I mean, you can barely get your if you're a woman with bigger hands, it's a pain in the butt sometimes. All right. Let's see here. No, anyone else want to make any comments about what we discussed tonight? Because I think we did good tonight.
I think we did a fantastic job, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. And if you need to talk, is there anyone that needs to talk about anything, or you want to share with us that you want to get off your chest? Now's the time to do it
Now's the time.
because we're here for you. And I've been cutting more strips.
Yeah, I've been pre-cutting some projects that we're working on over here on the channel. I have 2 Block of the Month programs that I'm working on right now, and I actually have 2 more coming up here, I think in November. I'm gonna have so many Block of the Month programs. It's gonna be unbelievable. And they're all, and none of them are pre-cut. I have to cut them all.
Yeah, I hear you on that. How many
So it's
projects?
like, oh my gosh.
So, as a channel creator, how many projects do you have going on with your channel right now?
Ooh, well, see, I get bored really easily.
Yeah, I know.
Those of you who have ever followed me, you know that I get bored very, 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 very easily. So I cannot work on the same project twice in a week or 2 times in a row. So every weekend we're working on something because
Something
I do my
different.
live streams on Sunday mornings, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. I don't think I mentioned that. And then I'm also trying to incorporate Wednesday evenings as well. I've been trying to scatter them in, but I think I'm going to start doing them a little bit more on a regular basis. But anyway, we work on a different project every weekend because I rotate my projects in and out. So it takes forever to get them done because I rotate them. But this way I'm keeping myself interested in them. I don't get overwhelmed. If I get frustrated with something, I know I'm not coming back to it for a few weeks. So I think right now I have, well, let me count the boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 different projects going right now. And I have 3 more coming. Yeah. Yeah.
About this, I call it the slow burn. I have the channel sew along, which is the charm squares over here that you see. Plus, I'm doing this tutorial every other week. I'll turn see Danny, those blocks up there. So we just did number 17 on Friday. So there's that one, and then so out of my 7, 5 of them we won't finish them up probably until we started them in February, so I'll probably end them in February. That's the plan. Because I want them to do January. If they haven't sewn all their blocks together yet, they'll have January to do that. And because I'm not going to do I won't start any new projects until February like I did this year. And to me, that was the smart thing for me to do. Plus, I wanted to go slow because I realized I sat down and assessed what it was like my first year as a channel. And I realized one of the things I don't ever want to do again is race through a project in 2 months. It's too stressful.
Oh, no. My projects take a minimum of a year, depending on the size of the project. Some of them take even longer than that. It just depends on the project. And I know that that's not everyone's cup of tea. Some people really like to rush through it and they like to get it done and see the end result. And I understand that. And that's why if you are that type of a person, then my channel is not the one for you, because we're constantly rotating them out. Because I get bored easily. And like I said in the beginning, my channel is not about how many subscribers I get or how many likes I get or how many views I get. That's not what my channel is about. My channel is about having fun and spending time with friends. And part of me having fun, a part of you guys having fun is me having fun. And in order for me to have fun, I have to rotate the projects around. That's just how I have to do it. And I know that's not for everybody, but that's how I have to do things in order to make sure that I'm not being fake on camera. I'm being real. I'm being me. I'm being a normal person who's using my YouTube channel not only for my own mental health, which is it's been incredible for my own mental health, but also for my own quilting journey too. Like I'm
Yeah.
fairly new to this hobby. I've probably only been doing it for 4 or 5 years now. I don't think I've ever actually added up how many years I've been doing it. But only just the last 3 years of my channel have I really just dove into quilting
Yeah.
and really
Yeah.
just let it consume me. Otherwise, it was just kind of whenever I decided I wanted to do it, but then I found that doing it, being in here, working on these projects really helped my mental health. And so I used the channel to kind of push me along to keep me consistently in here. And that's really what's worked for me. And now I'm embracing it and I love it so much. I have so much fun with it. I don't do a lot of pre-recorded videos on my channel because I can't stand those. They're way too much work for me, and I don't enjoy them as much as I do enjoy a live stream. And so I struggle with pre-recorded series is because I get burned out with them. I do 5 or 6 or 8 videos and then I get burned out with them and then I put them away for a while and then I got to come back to them and things like that. So, but on my channel we do a lot of rotating. So like I said, I have 9 projects going right now. I have 2 more coming in November. And I
Yeah.
just keep rotating them out. Like once a month, you'll see something, whatever it is. Like next week, or this next Sunday, we're going to be working on my memory bear project. It's a project that I've wanted to start doing for many years, and I just finally got up the courage to do it this year. And we're on like I think episode 4 or episode 5 of that. So we've been working on that one since April, and I do it once a month since April. We've got the body pretty much together now. And that's just kind of the way I do things is I have all of these projects that take forever to finish because I only work on them once a month.
Yep. Yep. Just some comments in the chat. Nancy
Oh,
says, I love y'all. We love you too.
we
And
do
then
too.
Rita's always the humorous person here. She says, I need 2 legs. Where to buy them? Ha ha. Sorry, could not resist. She needs new legs, she said.
Oh
Nancy
no.
said, oh, Rita, if I could, I would. Yeah, we all would. And then
Yeah, we
Pam,
would.
I appreciate this in the community with Tammy, the Siberian Wind. It has helped so much over the last 6 months. I'm glad we can all be there for you guys. And then
Yeah,
Rita
for
said,
sure.
my hubby went to the store for me. He got back and I asked him if he bought me a new body. He goes, the new bodies are on the back order, ha ha. Right? And then Rita says, that is way too long for me anyway to finish a project.
I
Nikolai
understand
says,
that.
don't forget to give a thumbs up. Thanks, honey. And she says, a year, really? Yeah, 2 or 3 of these projects are a year long, Rita, and that was the plan. I call it the slow burn.
Oh gosh, at least a year. At least a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually, people are sewing these long ones because they have enough time to do one thing in the month or 2 things in the month, and then they have all their other projects they're working on, so it's not putting an additional strain on them trying to
Right.
participate in my solo. I didn't start out with anyone doing it with me,
Right.
especially
Well, and
when
I have a full-time job too. Like I have a
you do.
corporate full-time job that I love. And sometimes it takes me away from, the quilting channel. So I can't always if I was retired or I didn't have a full-time job, then yeah, I could crank out these projects a whole heck of a lot faster than I am. But I'm basically a weekend warrior. That's basically what I'm in here is I'm a weekend warrior. I'm, on my weekends after I've run all my errands and done all of my adulting, this is where I spend the rest of my weekend is in here.
Rita also says, I thought when I was taking 2 weeks to complete a quilt, that is really slow. You're so funny. And then Nancy says, yes, we do, Danny, and we gamble a lot. Yes, we do gamble a lot in your channel.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
That's a Streamlabs thing, isn't it?
That is a Streamlabs thing. Yeah, it was something that I picked up from because I'm also a gamer. I like to play computer games. And I have a gamer friend of mine who has his own channel, and that's one of the things that he does on his channel is he has the it's not thimbles, it's a different, different theme, but he had that on his channel, and I thought, well, this is kind of neat. This could be something kind of fun. I don't see it on anyone else's channel right now, so I thought, well, I'll give it a shot, see if it works, see if it doesn't. I didn't expect it to do what it does.
Yeah, you
but
and
yeah,
Mona,
it works out.
you're the two, your channel and Mona's the only two channels I've seen it in. Now, I think that Kevin was trying to do something like that outside of when he does his main live for the Connect and Grow channel that I've mentioned to you earlier. He
Yeah.
has something that goes live right afterwards sometimes, and you can game on it. I have trouble trying to figure out how to play that game. It's a little more difficult than usual, but anyway, Pam also says, I have some projects that are aged very well. Then Rita says, so then when I'm making 2 or 3 blocks a day, that is not slow? I'm not answering that one.
2 or 3 blocks a day, that's fast. My gosh, I'm lucky if I get 1 block in.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be lucky if I finish 1 or 2 blocks.
I had this one project that I was working on my channel called, it was a quilt, it was a pattern called Resilient, and I loved it. It was one of my very favorites, and actually I'm going to be bringing it back soon because I have to put borders and binding on it. But the blocks were so intricate that it took me my 2-hour live stream, I would get 1 block done in 2 hours. I basically I ended up having to take that one off the channel for a little while and work on it off the channel just to get things kind of caught up on it because it was taking forever to do. I went to like 14 episodes on that one, and I only had like 9 blocks done or something. It was just crazy. So yeah, so I've worked on projects like that where it can take a while to finish.
Yeah, yeah. How many hours a day do you sit in front of your sewing machine, Rita? And while you're answering that question, I have to do a bio. Be right back. One of the things I have to do since I've been sick on my kidneys and stuff.
Wait. All right, W. Mona did what hasn't, but I lose all the time, Nancy. Lisa, who's Lisa? I don't think I know who Lisa is. Aged very well. I love that. It took me 8 months to do the big peacock diamond painting I did. I was like, oh my God, I am never going to finish this. Rita, and that's kind of why I have so many projects going on at one time is because I don't get that frustration. I don't put that pressure on myself because I know that these projects are going to take forever because the whole point of being in this room is to have fun. It's not to be stressful. It's supposed to relieve the stress of your week. So I try to do what I take that stress away from my projects. Like I don't give myself timelines. I don't say I need to have this done by X date or I need to have this done for this amount of reason or things like that. I don't give myself those timelines because I'm not trying to give myself more stress. I'm trying to take stress away from myself. So that's one of the things when I first started my channel. If you guys go back to my channel and you watch the very beginning videos, I was only working on 2 or 3 projects and I was doing the same thing every week. And I found that I was getting bored with that very, very quickly. And so I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, this is not who I am. I can't keep doing this. And so that's when I started to introduce other projects. And I found that over the year, the first year of my project, I found that the more projects that I had going and the more rotation that I allowed myself, the happier I was, the less stress I had, the more I felt like I was having fun with the project, as opposed to giving myself this timeline, giving myself this stress, making it a job as opposed to a hobby. So for me, and I know that's not for everybody, but for me, it became easier for me the more projects that I had that I could put into my rotation. Yes, it does get overwhelming, and I do have a tendency to stress out a little bit when I get too many of them, because I'm like, I really need to finish something. And usually when I get to that point where I don't feel like I'm progressing on anything because everything is a long project and I need to finish something, that's when I'll grab something small. That's one of the reasons why I pulled this project that you guys see me cutting right now. This is a block of the month where you make a little wall hanging. I brought that one into the channel because it only takes me about a day to put the pieces together, and I give myself the win for that really quickly and really easily. I have scrap fabrics and things that I keep in my drawer for things like making scrunchies, because it's quick and it's easy and it gives me a win. For things like making pencil cases, I have extra, I bought a big bulk of zippers to make pencil cases with, and I've got that in a drawer with some extra fabric. And those are the things that I pull out when I feel like I just need to finish something. So I'll pull those out just to give myself that little bit of a win. Or I have a couple of cotton cuts, pre-cut projects that I'll pull out, again, to give myself that little bit of a win so that I feel like I'm accomplishing something. Because when you're working on these really big projects, especially when you've got so many going at one time, there will be a time period, there will be an extended time period where you really don't feel like you're getting anything done because you're just ironing and cutting and ironing and cutting and ironing and cutting. And it seems like it never ends. So that's when I'll pull one of those smaller projects out and I'll go, okay, guys, I need a win. So we're going to work on this today because I need to give myself something like I feel like I've accomplished something. But that's me. And that's the beauty of this community and these channels and YouTube and all of these different platforms is you get to do what's best for you. And you know, you get to do or watch or follow whatever you feel you connect with. And I think that that's fantastic. And I know that my channel is not for everybody. I know that, and it doesn't upset me. It doesn't, because guess what? Not every channel is for me either. And so I don't get upset by that. So one of the things that I did early on with my channel is I stopped looking at how many subscribers I had or how many views I had or what my analytics were. I just stopped because I found myself getting more stressed out, thinking that I needed to change what I was doing in order to help feed those things. And that's when I said, no, I'm going back to why I created this channel. I created this channel to have fun and to meet new people. And that's where I focus. And so I love it. I absolutely love it that Katie and all of my creator friends are like, Danny, you need to get to 1,000 subscribers. I love that. And I appreciate their help. But that's not my focus. My focus is to have fun and create new projects. And I want to make sure that I try and keep that focus. And so I keep going back to that. No, I don't care how many subscribers I have. I don't care who's watching or how many views I have. I'm here to have fun and I'm here to spend time with you guys.
Turn whose mic off, Nancy? Did I miss something?
I don't know. I was not reading chat for a moment. I'm sorry. Hi, Fern.
Okay, so looks like Rita says she spends 2 or 3 hours a day sewing, and then she had to stop due to it hurting her. And then
I'm sorry to hear
talk
that.
about being OCD to have more than one project at a time. Yeah, some people can't do more than one. I think that Myra's that way.
Can understand that, Rita. Yeah, my mom, Mama Joyce, so you know her. She's the same way. She has a really hard time at doing more than one project, and I get that. I get that 100%. Yeah.
And
How
then
did I
Pam
get back
says,
to
Rita,
top stuff?
sometimes I do a block a week. My machine is in front of me, and I still cannot sew. And then Rita says, Pam, that happens to me sometimes also. My sewing machine is right there, and times I say, nope, no sewing. I'll go do nail design instead. And then Rita says, I make key fobs when I want to make something, but nothing real big. And Fern King, hello, Fern King, welcome to the live. Hey, Laura, how are ya? I hope you've had a good day today. She says, sorry I'm late. I had to run some errands with her husband. That's okay. No one's late. And then Rita says, I created my channel back in 2020, but then could not figure out what to do with it. So January 25th, this community gave me courage to just go for it. Yeah, that's what's so good about this community. And hi, Savannah, welcome, welcome. And then Nancy says, when you went to the bathroom, sometimes people forget to turn off the mic. Yeah, but you couldn't. Did you hear something from the bathroom? I'm confused.
No. When you walked away, you did start to say something. I couldn't really hear it, but we didn't hear anything else after that.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, got you.
I think she said something to me.
Oh, yeah, it was probably when I said something to Nikolai.
It's fine. It's no big deal.
So, has everybody had a good weekend? I hope you have. I can't believe
I've had a tremendously busy weekend.
Yeah, I think yesterday was crazy with us all sewing. There was so many channels with jelly rolls, and I'm like, how am I going to watch all of them? So now I'm watching a couple of them now as a replay because I missed the live altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, that jelly roll race actually took a lot longer. It's a project that I've had kind of on my back burner for a while. And then when I remembered that National Jelly Roll Day was coming up, I was like, you know what, this will be perfect for this. I'll try it there. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But my goodness, did it take a lot longer than I thought it was gonna. We ended up having to split it up into 2 days because it took so darn long.
I know what you mean.
You had fun too.
It was fun. Yeah, I feel like we had a good time yesterday. Nikolai, definitely you could see Nikolai was enjoying himself yesterday sewing.
Good.
You know, it was pretty yesterday was pretty doggone amazing.
That's good.
He was on the camera so you could see what he was doing, and people could see he was having fun, but then a couple times it looked like he was really serious, and it was because he was concentrating.
Yeah, bringing Lucas on the channel. Lucas is my moderator and my soon-to-be my Sunday son-in-law. Same thing with him. He gets really focused, and he doesn't do real well with managing chat and sewing at the same time. So he usually just leaves that to me, which is totally fine. I understand. He's like, I don't know how you do this, but either way, I mean, I think it's great. And so watching him sometimes is a lot of fun because he just gets into this zone, you know.
Like he was totally in the zone, and I'm watching him over there, and I'm like, do you need any help? Nope. Everything all right?
Got it. It was a lot of fun.
Try to give you input, nope, I'm doing it my way. It was pretty funny yesterday. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it a lot. And when
I'm glad that you guys are able to do that. Yeah, Minister Wizard would not. We've talked about it before, and sewing is just not his thing, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that because you know what, model car making, not my thing, so it's okay.
Uh-oh, I think I just miscut something. No, maybe I didn't.
My blade is dying on me.
Why are these strips are not 2.5? What in the world? They really aren't. Huh. Some of these strips that came in the strip set are not 2.5. This is more
I've had that happen.
This is more this one is 2.25. It's off by a whole quarter.
Yep, I've had that happen to me before. Yep. Especially when Joanne Fabrics was still in business. Their pre-cuts, don't get me wrong, I think Joanne Fabrics was a great place to go for inexpensive fabrics, and they had great prices and things like that, but their pre-cuts were awful. They were never cut correctly. They were never the right size. They were always on an angle. I've learned my lesson with that, and I never bought the pre-cuts again.
I guess all.
But yeah, I have had pre-cuts come in wrong or been cut wrong or before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you remember that everything is cut by a machine. In most cases, that stuff is all cut by a machine, and so sometimes the machine screws up. You know.
Yeah, these are definitely not. I don't. I guess I didn't realize that yesterday when I was sewing them that they weren't exactly 2.5. The blocks went
Yep.
together, so whatever was, yeah, all right. I'm not gonna stress out about this. I'll just keep
No, I
sewing.
wouldn't either.
I was sewing them when they were already like that, so whatever.
Yep.
Rita, I
Yep.
broke my back in December 2024 and had surgery in
Yeah.
January this year. I'm still having pain issues from that. Let's
I'm
see.
sorry to hear that, Rita. I did not break my back, but I have had back surgery before, and I understand what that can be like. I'm sure that your case was probably way more extreme than mine, but I did basically lose the ability to walk for about 9 months without being in severe pain. So I do have an inkling of what you might have gone through or might be going through. And it's a scary, very, very scary time. It's very painful. It's very frustrating. And that's one of the reasons why sewing kind of became a thing for me for a little while, and then I also had to put it away for a little while because I couldn't actually physically sit in the chair long enough to be able to sew. So I understand that very much.
Yeah. Let's see. Rita says, good weekend. Well, maybe. My hubby broke his back in July of last year. He is now falling and having a hard time walking. And then I noticed he is forgetting things. I want him tested. He is refusing. And then Nancy says, I have seen Teresa do this 3 times. I remember the cutting, talking about the jelly thing. And then Laura says, I didn't get a chance to watch yesterday. Yeah, I missed you yesterday. Where were you? I didn't know. I was worried that you were sick again. I hope you're okay. And then Pam says, I didn't do any jewelry roll stuff yesterday. Spent morning going to Guild Fabric Closet to get stuff for making big bag kits. It wore me out. Watching you in the afternoon was great. And then Laura says, Rita, I'm so sorry. Sending prayers your way. Nancy sending prayers her way too. And then Robin says, yep, Nico was concentrating. Yes, he was. And then Rita says, no, that does not happen with pre-cuts. No way, haha. Then Pam says, Rita,
Right.
agree with Nancy. He needs to get tested to know what will make it better. And then Laura says, I already read that part of what was said. And then Rita says, Laura, he went to pain center, but what is going to have to happen is me going to his appointment. He just tells the doctor he is okay. Hey, Melissa, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. And then Pam says, maybe that's why I have never liked pre-cuts and have mainly purchased 1 or 2 yard cuts. Yeah, these pre-cuts that you're seeing me mess with for that jelly roll. They're old, probably 2016 or 2017. And they were in a tote that I forgot when I was looking for something else. I found them in a tote, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I had these. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize they
Yeah,
still
I can understand that a lot of people are avoid pre-cuts because of that reason, because they weren't cut correctly. I
being
will
cheap.
say that the more name brand fabrics do a better job with pre-cuts. I've never run into any issues with like a Moda or Robert Kaufman or any of those types of name brands, or Riley Blake, those types of things. But I have found a lot of issues with the lesser known brands of fabrics with them being pre-cuts. And like I said, the Joanne Fabrics ones, I've had trouble with those before. I was kind of surprised when I was doing my jelly roll race. I was concerned about the jelly roll that I was working with because it was a purchased jelly roll from Amazon and it wasn't a name brand or a brand that I recognize. But it turned out to be okay. They all seemed to turn out really well, but I was conscious of the fact that they may not be the right size as I was going through, but it turned out to be okay. That particular project, you don't really need to have, if you have a variance at the sizes that you can kind of manipulate it and make it work. So it wasn't as critical as some other projects where you have to cut to certain dimensions and things. But it turned out to be okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Thank you
Laura,
so
that's
much.
so kind of you.
Thank you so much. Rita says, Laura, I think my hubby is scared. He won't admit it, but notice when he goes to the store, he is using one of those electric chairs. And then she says, then Rita also says, I do enough miscutting fabric. Do not want to order pre-cuts with the same issue. I didn't even realize these were not 2.5, but I noticed yesterday when I was putting the blocks together that there was a little bit of offage, and I was just trimming off the offage. And so now I know why. It's okay. I'm
Yeah.
still going to use them and keep on doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
Laura
Katie, I
says,
need to take off here soon. It's about
yeah, I know.
5:30 my time.
We're going to have to end it too. Yeah. She says, I do like
Okay.
fat quarter bundles because I get a sampling of the full line. I like fat quarter bundles too. I've just stopped
Oh,
buying
I am addicted
all the
to
other
fat quarter
stuff.
bundles. I am
Yeah.
addicted to fat quarter bundles, and that's why fat quarters is one of the prizes that you can win on my channel because I have so many of them.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly buying more.
Yeah, when I first started out on this as a newbie, I didn't know any better. So that's why I have so many, all these charm packs. When I told them I had 141, they're like, what? I haven't bought any charm packs, layer cakes, or jelly rolls since before COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I have bought is fat quarter bundles and
Yeah.
yardage. That's what I started concentrating on because I like the yardage better, or the fat quarter bundles because you get the whole colorway. All right, let me see here. Go back to the poll again. Now we've had 20 votes. 15% chose lack of creative mojo, and 85% chose lack of being productive, period. So there you go. I'm going to end the poll. All right. Next month, I will have another topic. Plus, we will continue to discuss getting set up to do a Thanksgiving thing.
That'll be fun.
Where we can, those of us who don't have family or anything can get together on a Zoom or whatever. I know some of you don't use Zoom, and I don't have another alternative. That's, that's what I use. That's what I pay for. So anyway, yeah, I'll post a Google form for you to fill out, and we'll see what the feedback is, because you'll have a whole month of getting feedback on that. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
And Danny, when's your next live?
My next live is I'm doing an After Dark edition on Saturday, which is this coming Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Our After Dark editions are always a little fun because there may be some adult beverages that usually get involved, and so they get to be a little crazy sometimes.
When she's freaking
My mother is she goes a little off the wall sometimes, but I love her anyway.
That one night I watched she was so funny. Oh my gosh, she had
she's character for sure. And then when you get her and her bestie Sherlock Cheryl together, which they will both be joining me on Saturday, when you get the two of them together, they're a real hoot. But so that's on Saturday, and then on Sunday I'll be doing a live stream. Typically my live streams are on Sunday mornings, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. That's when I do all of my regular streams, and then I'll sprinkle one in every once in a while. So I've been trying to do more Wednesday evening streams, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and then I do one After Dark edition on a Saturday once a month as well. So I've been trying to include more live streams because I just have so much fun with them. I really love spending time with my community and my friends and my content creator friends, and I just love doing that. And I've found that including at least one live stream in a week, other than my Sunday stream during the week, really helps my stress levels with my corporate job. And so I'm finding the benefits in that, and so I might start doing a little bit more of that a little bit. We'll have to wait and see, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. But my next one is Saturday. And then I have one on Sunday. And then I have another one, I think, on a Thursday. So I have a few of them planned out on the channel. You can go over to my channel now. I try to put previews. I've tried to set up thumbnails for them for the month in advance. So if you guys are interested in what my schedule is like, usually if you go on the channel, it'll tell you what's coming up. I have not done my October ones yet. I'll do those probably next weekend. Maybe the weekend after. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah.
Laura says she has to stop buying and get back to sewing.
I've been there. I understand that. Yeah.
Okay. I think what we're going to work on. So my next live will be the 25th, 26th, and 27th, which is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday, the 27th, is Eric and me from Treasure Heart Creations, and I think Shonda's going to join us. Normally Janice will be on that same Saturday. But for those that don't know, Janice is working on a PhD. So she has
for
zero
her.
time right now to come and join me. So she's kind of had to postpone coming on because she was coming on the fourth Saturday of every month. So it's probably a couple months before I get to see her on a live. So for right now, you won't see her. But Shonda said she would join me and Eric. So that's planned. I just haven't decided when I'm going to sew on the 25th and the 26th. I definitely think one of those is going to be used doing Tula Pink stuff for my granddaughter. I really need to get caught up.
Fun.
Job wants to know if I'm having a live stream later tonight. No. I need to take care of some stuff that's been pushed aside. Like make food for my husband. We haven't eaten dinner tonight, so I need to go make food. And it's
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I need to go start making dinner for my family as well.
It's your dinner hour, and it's like 3 hours past ours, so I'm going to go make food. Thank you everyone for coming today. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you for making both our channels grow and stay active. We appreciate y'all so much. And Danny, thank you for coming and doing this with me. I think this has been a great thing that you and I are doing together along with Myra. And remember what I said earlier to you today, please, do that. Okay.
I don't remember what that was now.
It has to do with topics.
Oh, yes. Yes, I will.
Okay. Nope, not going to be on here later unless I'm on someone's I'll come sit in someone's live, but I'm not going to go live. Hi, Melissa. And those of you that just came in, I'm sorry. But no live tonight from my channel, but I'll go sit in someone else's live tonight. So you'll see me over on one of their channels. But I need to go make a hot meal for my husband or he's going to be eating me next. So just saying. And I know, I can't believe I just said that.
I was wondering.
It wasn't meant that way, but you know what I mean. That's what he says. If you don't feed me, I'm going to start eating you. I'm like, oh, wait. Anyway, love you guys. Have a great night. To see you on someone else's live. Thank you, Danny.
You're welcome.
Remember, live, laugh, love, and dream. And what do you do from all of that? You make something beautiful. See y'all.
Bye.
Let me see here. Okay. Now the live is ended. Oh.